Okay, so picture this. It's March 11th, 1967. A little Cessna takes off from Portland heading to San Francisco, just a quick hop, right? Wrong. They run smack dab into this crazy storm and bam, plane crash on a freaking mountain. Unreal. Everyone lives through the crash but the next few weeks. Total nightmare fuel, like something out of a movie. Seriously, this story changed how aviation works. So, this dude, Alvin Oyen, super proud of his Cessna 195. It's an older model but classy. You know, Alvin's got a blended family, wife Phyllis, her daughter Carla, and Alvin's sons. His son Alvin Jr. was in San Francisco, so the fam's like road trip, or rather, sky trip. Why have a plane if you can't visit family, right? Alvin, he's 59, lived a full life already. Lumberjack turned hotel owner. He's all about his plane, cleaning it, fixing it. Super particular. Phyllis, she's a nurse, Northwestern grad, the whole deal. Carla, though, she'd rather hang with her boyfriend. But family's family, so she's on board. They take off, but here's the kicker. They forget the survival kit. Major fail. It seemed like no biggie at the time, but oh man, it's gonna be a huge deal. Everything's chill at first. They radio in near Medford, Oregon. Next stop, Red Bluff for gas before the final leg. Back in the day, pilots used landmarks like highways and rivers, you know. Visual cues. Alvin's doing the same. But then bam! The weather goes bonkers. Full-on blizzard. Zero visibility. Ice on the wings. Winds pushing them way off course. West towards the ocean. Total pilot's worst nightmare. It's called VFR into IMC. Flying into a storm when you're only using your eyes to navigate. Recipe for disaster. Alvin's doing his best, but with just a compass and nothing to see. They drift like 20 kilometers off course right into the Trinity Mountains. The wind and ice push them down, and out of nowhere, a mountain jumps out. Crash landing time. Seriously, most crashes, that's it, game over. But somehow, they survive the impact. Alvin's a skilled pilot. No doubt. But their nightmare, it's just beginning. They're stranded, no clue where they are. Alvin's messed up, broken arm, crushed ribs, back pain, cuts. Breathing probably hurts like crazy. Phyllis is worse, broken wrist, broken ankle. Head injury, can barely move. Carla's the only one relatively okay. Bruised, shaken, but mobile. She's their MVP now. Alvin probably thought they could tough it out at first. He knows the outdoors, Phyllis is a nurse, Carla's able-bodied. He's kicking himself for ditching the survival kit, but still, they got this, right? Wrong again. The radios are toast. Can't call for help. The plane's wrecked, window smashed, door busted, letting in the freezing wind. No survival kit. They're screwed. Hours pass. The plane's late to Red Bluff. Panic sets in, calls go out, and a full-blown search kicks off. Air Force, Civil Air Patrol, the works. But the weather's still awful. And no one knows where to even begin looking. They've got a 245-kilometer stretch to cover, and who knows how far off course they drifted. If they went 20 clicks off, that's almost 50 square kilometers to search. 30 clicks. Over 7. 0. All dense forests, mountains, lakes, the whole shebang. Turns out, they crashed on Bully Choop Mountain, 30 kilometers west of where they should be. The mountain's covered in trees, and snow's piling up fast, burying the plane. Back at the crash site, Phyllis wakes up with frostbite. The whole family's miserable. All they've got is a picnic's worth of food. Sandwiches, jelly, lemon drops, M&Ms, some medicine tablets. Not exactly a feast. But they ration it. Smart move. They hang up sheets to block the windows, but the wind keeps tearing them down. In San Francisco, Alvin Jr. hears about the crash. He's a pilot himself, so he heads to Redding and joins the search. He's been there before. Air Force days. It's like the family had everything they needed to survive except a working radio. Days turn to weeks, and nothing gets easier. The storm won't quit. Search flights try to sneak in between weather fronts, but it's a nightmare. On day 3, Carla tries to find help, but the snow's too deep. Zero visibility. She loses her shoes. Double ouch. 5 days in, Alvin can move a bit. The snow's up to his armpits. More like swimming than walking. But the food's almost gone. He's gotta try. He bundles up and heads down the mountain, hoping he's going the right way. Carla and Phyllis hear him calling out for a bit, then nothing. They're alone, praying he finds someone. Up above, Alvin Jr.'s doing the same. He's part of a team of 165 people, ground crews, planes, the whole deal. He refuses to give up, even though it seems impossible. Another week passes. Alvin's gone, no sign of him. The rescuers think he's a goner too. They call off the search after almost 600 hours of flight time. Alvin Jr. refuses to stop. He keeps flying. Week after week on. Back at the crash, Phyllis writes in Carla's diary, worried about Alvin. By the end of week 2, the rescuers give up hope. Alvin Jr. keeps flying, 8 weeks straight. Carla and Phyllis make cards to pass the time. They dream about food, gifts, places they want to see. But it's tough to stay positive when you've been starving for a month, melting ice for water just to survive. On April 30th, almost 2 months after the crash, Carla writes, "This is my 16th birthday. I hope you're happy, search and rescue. You haven't found us yet." Then she wishes they'd find her. If anyone earned the right to be sarcastic, it's her. Carla circles each day on the calendar, commenting on the weather. Only 2 sunny days at the crash site. Brutal. Then, on May 4th, the last entry. It's a bright and drippy day. Drippy die. We are completely soaked. They're too weak to keep writing. They won't last much longer. They die sometime after that. Their bodies freeze. But the story doesn't end there. They survived for at least 54 days. Alvin Jr. flew search missions for 107 days. He finally had to give up when his money ran out. Months later, in October, a hunter named Floyd Bowling stumbles upon the plane wreck. It's buried in the trees, practically invisible. Nearby, he finds bones and a book. It's Carla's diary, detailing their time on the mountain. Alvin Jr. comes back to Redding and sells the diary's story. He and his brothers camp at the crash site, searching for their father. They want to believe he's still alive. The crash site's only 8 miles from the highway. If he could move, he would have been found. But they find nothing. They have to go home. 2 years later, in September 1969, 2 hunters find Alvin's remains. He was only about 40 feet from the road near some telephone poles. He'd made an arrow out of branches, pointing to the crash site. He even hung his gloves on a tree. But no one saw it. He was only about 400 meters from the crash site when he died. His sons might have walked right past him. All that was left were scraps of clothing, bones, shoes, a pen from his hotel, his glasses, and a camera. No one knows what was on the film. Alvin Jr. was super critical of the rescue effort. Disorganized, unprepared, they gave up too easily. And there were other things that could have been done. Emergency locator beacons weren't required back then. They were optional. And the family didn't have one. If they did, they would have been rescued in hours. Carla's diary changed everything. Colorado Senator Peter Dominic read her story. He introduced Carla's law to make emergency locator transmitters mandatory in civil aviation. In December 1970, President Nixon signed it into law. 3 years later, all civil aviation planes using government-funded airports had to have emergency beacons. Carla's journal has saved thousands of lives. Her tragic story put a human face on the problem and helped fix it. Now that's a legacy.